Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I am your educator Nidhi Dua, and in this video lecture we are going to study about P block elements. Particularly we are going to talk about group 14 elements. Okay, so without any further delay, let's begin our topic, that is P block elements. So before starting the group number 14, let's have a recap, let's have an introduction about P block elements. So the P block elements are those elements of periodic table in which the differentiating electron enters the P subshell of the outermost shell. P block of periodic table consists of 6 groups. On the basis of electronic configuration, helium is to be excluded from the P block as the last electron enters the S subshell of last shell. Now let's begin our topic, that is carbon family, that is group number 14. These are the P block elements having 4 electrons in their valence shell and thus placed in the 14th group. This carbon family consists of 5 elements named carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead. Next we are going to study about some physical properties of group number 14. Number 1 is electronic configuration. The general valence shell electronic configuration of group 14 element is ns2np2, where the n represents the principal quantum number and the value of n in case of P block elements can vary from 2 to 6. Next is the atomic and ionic radii. As you know, in every element, atomic or ionic radii increases from the top to bottom in case of group. In a particular group, the atomic or ionic radii increases from top to bottom. That's why you can see that series carbon to lead, the atomic radii is increasing. Next is the ionization enthalpy. If we talk about the first ionization enthalpy of group 14, then this follow this trend. Carbon has the maximum ionization energy, then silicon, then germanium, then tin, and Pb has the large ionization energy, then tin. Next is the oxidation state. The configuration of valence shell ns2np2 of these elements, that these elements can lose or gain 4 electrons to attain inert gas configuration. As you know, every metal has a property that it can lose or gain some electrons to attain inert gas configuration. So talking about the group 14 elements, they have 4 electrons in their outermost shell. That's why they can lose or gain 4 electrons to attain inert gas configuration. That's why that implies they can form M plus 4 ions or M minus 4 ions depending upon the losing or gaining of electrons. But due to lower electron affinity, they do not exhibit much tendency to form M minus 4 ions. As they have low electron affinity, they do not have much tendency to form M minus 4 ions by gaining 4 electrons. Although carbon ion is thought to be present in Be2C and Al4C3, means carbon has the tendency to gain 4 electrons, and this tendency of carbon to form C-4 ions can be seen in these Be2C and Al4C3 compounds. So you have to remember these two compounds in which carbon has the tendency to form carbon minus 4 ions, C-4 ions. The elements carbon and silicon form mainly covalent bonds in which these elements exhibit oxidation state of +4. Here you have to remember this, you have to memorize this. Every group has a group oxidation state. For example, in case of group 13, the group oxidation state is 3. In case of group 14, this oxidation state is the oxidation state of group 14 as 4. In case of group number 15, the group oxidation state is 5, etc. The last 3 elements have a tendency to form M+4 as well as M+2 ions. This last 3 elements is talking about the except carbon and silicon. The remaining germanium, tin and lead has the tendency to form M+4 ion as well as M+2 ions. The +2 oxidation state, the M+2 ion formation arises due to the inert pair effect. This inert pair effect is only reason being, this inert pair effect is the reason that +2 oxidation state arises in a group 14 element. Now the concept of inert pair effect, that what is inert pair effect, we are going to study. This is very important concept. Some heavy metals, some heavy metallic elements of p block exhibit stability in lower oxidation state. In case of p block elements, there are some heavy metals present in it, and in that case, the higher stability of lower oxidation state is high as compared to the group oxidation state. As you know, the group oxidation state of group 14 is +4, while its lower oxidation state is +2. So according to inert pair effect, +2 oxidation state is much stable than +4 oxidation state. This is according to inert pair effect. And why this inert pair effect occurs? Electron pair of S subshell of valence shell is reluctant to participate during chemical combination. When this happens, this is known as inert pair, and this effect is known as inert pair effect. For example, in case of Pb+2 and Pb+4, the stability of lower oxidation state Pb+2 is greater than the higher oxidation state, that is Pb+4. Now I hope you are clear about the inert pair effect. So basically the simple meaning of inert pair effect is this, that the lower oxidation state is stability, the lower oxidation state stability is higher than the or greater than the higher oxidation state. Next is the melting and boiling point. Carbon has an extremely high melting point, that is 4100 degrees Celsius. Silicon melts appreciably lower than carbon, but the value of silicon and germanium are still high. Tin and lead are metallic and have low melting point. The reason of low melting point is the weak MM bond, the weakest bond present in the metals in case of lower melting point elements, and they do not use all the 4 electrons for metallic bonding. This last point is very important. You have to memorize this point. Next is the complex formation tendency. Except carbon, all these elements have complex formation tendency, means all the rest of the elements except carbon can form complexes. Why this complex formation tendency occurs? Reason being the small size, high charge and availability of vacant orbital. These complexes are occurring by accepting electrons in the vacant d orbitals from atoms or ions having lone pair of electrons. Next is the allotropy. All the elements except lead shows the criteria of allotropy. Now you may wonder what is the allotropy. Allotropy means the ability that certain substances have to exist in more than one physical form. I repeat, allotropy is the property of some elements that have to exist in more than one physical form. For example, some allotropes of carbon are diamond and graphite, that we will study further. Next is the chain forming tendency or the catenation or self-linking property. Some elements linked together to form a long chain, and this property of self-linking of some elements is known as catenation, and this catenation property is higher in carbon. All the elements of this group has catenation tendency, self-linking tendency. This property decreases from carbon to lead, means catenation power of carbon is much higher than that of remaining elements. The decrease of this property is associated with MM bond energy, which decreases from carbon to lead. Carbon has the highest catenation property because the metal bond, the bond energy between carbon and carbon is higher, and this decreases from carbon to lead. The greatest tendency of carbon for catenation is due to nearly same values of carbon-carbon bond energy as the energy of the bond between carbon and other elements. Next is, on the other hand, silicon-silicon bond is weak than the bond between silicon and other elements. So silicon-silicon bond is weaker as the bond energy increases. In case of silicon carbon, the bond energy increases. Next is the chemical reactivity. We are going to study about two cases, action of air, and second is the action of in case of halogens. Number one is action of air. These elements react with oxygen, the air, on strong heating. When these elements are heated, in presence of oxygen or in presence of air, they form the oxide. C plus O2 gives CO2 in presence of heat, and 2Pb plus O2 gives 2PbO, lead oxide. The acidic nature of these oxides decreases with the increase of atomic number. As the atomic number increases, acidic nature of these oxides decreases. CO2, SiO2 are acidic, while GeO2, SnO2, PbO2 are amphoteric in nature. Second, CO is neutral, but GeO, SnO and PbO are amphoteric in nature. You have to remember that carbon monoxide is neutral, but rest all the oxides, monoxides, are amphoteric in nature. All these dissolves in the alkalis, giving carbonates, silicates, germanates, etc. Basic character of both mono and dioxides increases down the group. Next, second chemical property is halides. If you talk about in case of halogens, in case of halides, the member of this group forms tetrahalides of type MX4. This is tetrahalide, not tetrahedral. T. Okay. So group 14 members forms a tetrahalide of MX4 type except PbBr4 and PbI4. These two compounds do not found. The halides are covalent and form sp3 hybridization. These MX4 type halides are covalent and hybridization is sp3. The thermal stability of tetrahalides of same element decreases with increase in molecular mass. As the molecular mass increases in case of tetrahalides, in case of same element tetrahalides, the thermal stability will decreases. As you can see here, the element is same, that is carbon, in this series, while the halogen atom is different, and as the molecular mass increases, the thermal stability decreases. Next point is the thermal stability of tetrahalides of element with a common halogen decreases with increasing atomic number. Here, as you can see, talking about atomic number, but in that case we were talking about atomic mass or the molecular mass. Tetrahalides of silicon, germanium, tin and lead acts as a strong Lewis acid. Why these are behaving as a strong Lewis acid? Because they have empty d orbitals. That's why silicon, germanium, tin and lead are strong Lewis acid. Now I hope you all are cleared about the physical and chemical properties, chemical reactivity of group 14 elements. Now we are going to discuss about the allotropic forms of carbon, the chemistry of carbon. We will study two allotropic forms of carbon. Number one is diamond and number two is graphite. So the number one allotropic form of carbon is diamond. This diamond is a solid form of element carbon with its atoms arranged in a crystal structure called diamond cubic. At room temperature and pressure, another solid forms of carbon known as graphite as chemically stable form of carbon, but diamond almost never converts to it. This diamond is a three-dimensional polymeric structure. In diamond, each carbon is sp3 hybridized. You have to remember this point that in diamond, each carbon is sp3 hybridized state, and this is linked to four other neighboring carbon atoms held at the corner of a regular tetrahedron by covalent bond. In this structure, carbon-carbon distance is 1.54 angstrom and the bond angle is 109.5 degree. Due to the unavailability of mobile electrons due to the absence of free electrons, this diamond behaves as a non-conductor of electricity. And a very important point, the density of carbon. If you talk about the density of carbon, this is 3.51 gram per centimeter cube. This is all about the density of carbon. Now I hope you all are cleared about the allotropic form of carbon, that is diamond. Next is the graphite. Graphite, referred to as a plumbago, is a crystalline form of the element carbon with its atom arranged in a hexagonal structure. It occurs naturally in this form and is the most stable form of carbon under standard conditions. Under high pressure and temperature, it converts to diamond. This is all about graphite. So, unlike diamond, it has two-dimensional laminar structure. You have to remember this point that graphite is two-dimensional laminar structure. The adjacent layer of sheet are held together by weak van der Waals force. In diamonds, covalent bonds were present, while in case of graphite, weak van der Waals forces are present. Here, each carbon atom is sp2 hybridized. In case of diamond, the atoms were sp3 hybridized. In case of graphite, atoms are sp2 hybridized and thus attached to three carbon atoms by 3 sigma bond, forming a hexagonal planar structure. The structure of graphite is hexagonal planar structure. When you talk about the carbon-carbon bond length, in case of graphite, this is 1.42 angstrom, which is less than that of diamond, that was 1.54 angstrom. So you have to learn the bond length of graphite and bond length of diamond. Diamond bond length is 1.54 angstrom and graphite's Bond length is 1.42 angstrom, which is shorter than that of diamond. When you give high pressure and high temperature to graphite, this will convert it into diamond. So the approximate temperature is 1600 degrees Celsius and the pressure is 50,000 to 60,000 angstrom to convert this graphite into diamond. And talking about the density of graphite, the density of graphite is 2.09 to 2.23 grams centimeter cube. So density is 2.09 to 2.23 gram per centimeter cube. Now I hope you all are cleared about the allotropic forms of diamond and graphite. Till now we have covered the physical properties, the chemical properties and the allotropic forms of carbon, and in the next lecture we will study about the chemical reactivity, the different compounds of group 14th element. In case if you are new here at our YouTube channel, please do like, share and subscribe. For further queries, please mail us or contact us. The information is given to you on the screen. Thank you very much guys. I hope you like the video.